also with me. And no, despite what some people are saying in the comments, it isn't because I've been watching Love Island. It's because I've been doing my hair. We had a couple of technical issues. We are a little bit late, but we're here now, and that's what matters. Better late than never.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if it's, an organ for a transplant, late and never are essentially the same thing, aren't they?
Both fatal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Loads of...
But in this instance, certainly better late than never. Yeah.
Not quite as, vital as an organ transplant, but important nonetheless. So...
No sound, apparently, is what's... Yeah, okay.
Is the sound... I see there's comments about the sound.
Yeah, yes, we're good now.
We do have some gremlins in the machine, but like the soldiers that we are, we're going to carry on that bit of Dunkirk spirit, mate, yeah?
Great.
Yeah? As Churchill said,
what did he say?
He said, up the Alamo. Right.
He said quite a lot of things, actually. Go through some of his worst ones.
He said, never...
Yeah.
Eat yellow snow.
Yeah. Never eat shredded wheat was never eat shredded wheat. That's how I remember North East South West.
He said, give it to Eddie Cavani. I think that was one of his. He also said, if you're going down Eccles High Street on a Tuesday, do be wary that the cash machine often gets massive queues around 10:30 in the morning.
Is that true?
That was one of his famous speeches to Parliament. Right, anyway.
Is that true about the cash machine?
What?
Busy?
It can do. I mean, the chemist is nearby, and I think 10:30 on a Tuesday's methadone day. I'm not sure anyway.
At least it was when you were a kid.
It was when I used to go there.
Yeah.
Christopher Singh says, waterfall or Wonderwall? Waterfall for me all day long, but I'm a top red. Go on.
Oh, if I had to listen to one now, it'd be Waterfall.
I mean, it's a choice between a Tory and an anti-vaxxer. Or just two bands, depending on what you say.
I'll take them both.
And we've got loads of stories to get through. You may have seen from the thumbnail, from the tweet we put out, Robert Lewandowski, who I've heard of.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Scores the odd goal.
Just a couple, mate.
Yeah. He might be available, he might not be. Bayern Munich may not be willing to let him go, but he may want to go. What happens there? Probably not going to anything happen in this transfer window, but he might leave. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
We've also got some more likely stories that are, increasingly looking like they're going to happen. Andreas Pereira, we've got a story about him. Kieran Trippier, what's happening with him. Jesse Lingard, what's going down with him. Tahith Chong, who's doing bits at Birmingham City, apparently looking to retire his shirt number already. And also, Herrera. Right.
Let's have a little drink.
And Herrera, he could be coming back, or could he not? I don't know. We'll get into that. United, yeah. I loved Ander Herrera, but we'll get into that one a little bit later on. And also, if we've not done it already, we are on the cusp, Joe Smith. The cusp of 600,000
It's
subscribers.
so close. We should get it tonight. Yeah. Let's try and get to 600,000 before the end of this video.
If you're not subscribing to the channel, go and subscribe. Get us to 600k. You could be our 600,000th subscriber. And if that happens, then you'll have been part of history. Yeah? Think about that. Yeah? It's like being at the Last Supper. Before we...
Overrated.
What? The Last Supper?
Yeah, the food was shit.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, you'd know.
Yeah.
Before we get into all that, we don't have some bad news today, of course. Dennis Law is suffering from Alzheimer's. Sad news to hear that. I don't know Dennis Law very well, but I've interviewed him a few times, and I'm not just saying this, he is genuinely one of the nicest guys you can meet. Right. My first ever radio interview, so about throwing in at the deep end. I was a work placement, and I went and interviewed Dennis Law.
At the Stretford end.
Yes, exactly, or the Trafford Centre as it was. And he was just lovely, put me at ease, interviewed him a few times during my career. Just a great guy. We did a tweet, I think, with a link if you want to donate to the Alzheimer's Society, which his daughter, Diane Law, is raising money for. So we wish him well. And if you want to get involved in that, go and check out Twitter or go and have a Google. And if you want to give some money or just show support to Dennis Law, however you can. And we wish him all the best. Yeah. Moving on to the news then. Andreas Pereira.
Yeah.
I think it's
gone.
It's done.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Done.
Andreas Pereira. Flamengo. There you say. Andreas Pereira joins Flamengo. Paperwork signed. A done deal confirmed. 1 million loan fee to United. Buy option for 15 million. And salary to be shared until June 2022. Bit of a shambles, that, isn't it?
Why?
Don't you think?
Well, go on. Tell me why.
Right, we've got a player there who's about as far removed from the first team as you can get. And I'm not having a dig at Pereira. I like the guy. I do. He's not United quality, but we've covered this many a time. I like him. And do get involved in the comments as well, by the way, and hit subscribe and give us a like and all that jazz. But we're still paying his salary or part of his salary when you've got a player who isn't anywhere near the first team. You know, we've got a loan fee and there's a buy option, but we're still having to pay some of his wage. It just seems like United just get everything wrong.
What do you reckon he's on?
I don't think he's going to be on silly money. I reckon he's on about 90k.
That's silly money. Surely.
It is, but United like.
I know. I was thinking about 70.
Yeah, probably 70. You're probably right. Probably about 70k. So it's a lot. So when they say shared salary, maybe they pay 35. They pay 35. Obviously, we pay 35. But it's still a bit of a mess for me. The fact that we're paying a player to play for someone else.
I agree, and I suppose the problem is he is on good money, and Flamengo aren't going to be paying him. Let's just guess at 60. Let's say low end because not trying to. The point isn't that Andreas Pereira is on too much money. The point is it's probably too much for Flamengo. Let's say he's on 60 grand a week. He might go down to 40 or 30 if he goes to Flamengo. So therefore, to get this deal done, to get this ball rolling, to not say to him, you're getting a pay cut immediately, here's how this is going to work in the next year, I kind of understand it. But at the same time, it is a bit odd that it's like, well, if we want him to go and we don't want to have to pay his wages, send him to a country that's got more rich teams in it. Yeah. Send him to, Lazio or Sevilla or wherever it may be. And obviously there has to be interest from these clubs, but the rumours were that Flamengo weren't the only team interested. It seemed like he wanted to go there to improve his chances of going to the World Cup next year. So it's just I agree that us paying his wages still, or splitting the wages like you're doing Uber Pool or something. To me, that does seem a bit odd. Someone was mentioning in the comment about where we can get the merch from. The Fernandez merch is my favourite one at the minute. The Fernandez one, the Until Bruno Was Never Happy merch as well. All the links are in the description. Go to the shop, obviously the Stretford Paddock shop. Click the link in the description and you can find everything there. This is my favourite one, the long sleeve. Fernandez in the sort of Thrasher style.
Yes,
great stuff,
mine's more Stone Rosy style because I'm, top mank.
Go on then.
Someone said, sorry, it was on my screen. Ahad says, Jesus and Howard from Halifax are my favourite Paddock duo. Quite like that, the Howard from Halifax reference.
Not seen him in a while.
That's what I mean. You don't hear much from him nowadays.
If you get glasses, I might.
Do you reckon he's been promoted to area manager of Halifax?
What did he used to be? Did he actually work for him?
I don't know. I think
was he an actor?
I don't know. I like to think that he worked for him, and they just said, you know what, there's something about you, Howard. We're going to make you the face of us. Do you know what I mean?
You don't even hear from Halifax anymore.
Do you know? I'm sure I had an Halifax Building Society account that had 12p in it from the 80s.
Oh, they're still going, but you don't see the adverts anymore like you used to.
Yeah, maybe they've not doing so. I don't know. They might be doing all right. If they are interested in sponsoring us, then give us a shout and let us know what happened to that account I used to have with you because I've lost all the details. So Pereira done. He's moving on.
Next.
Wishing well, but again, it's
wishing well.
Yes. A couple people asked about Howson update. Howson's on a bit of a spectacle at the minute from this channel. You can still catch him with stuff, but don't worry. We've not all fallen out. We'll be seeing him soon. Lots of love as well for Dennis Law. Lots of people making comments. I'm just going to read out one that's come up. Letitia Cole says, love and support to Dennis Law and his family. Massive shout out to everyone who's giving shout outs to Dennis Law. So Pereira, there's not a lot to say about that. Other than we said it the other day, it shows how far we've come that this was a guy who was a regular not long ago who now can't even get on the bench.
There's quite a lot of Halifax Howard updates there.
What's going on with him?
Says that he did work for them, he won a competition to be on the advert. Then someone else said he works in the Halifax in Birmingham. But then someone else said he was an actor, he was on other programmes. Do you know what I mean? He's been in an ad for another company since. So
this is my favourite. MRV says Howard from the Halifax advert was a mechanic near St Albans in North London.
Do you know what I mean? So it's almost impossible to know. Did he work at the Halifax in Birmingham? Was he a mechanic? Was he just an actor that did none of those things?
I saw. It's like, do you ever watch Coming to America?
No.
Have you seen it?
No.
Have you not seen Coming to America?
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
No, not seen it.
All right, you just.
There's number 2 just came out the other week, didn't it?
I watched it. Yeah.
Any good?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not as good as the original, but it's all right. Okay. It's good. But yeah, it's like they're talking about. Have you ever know Dr. Martin Luther King? I met Dr. Martin Luther King once. Came up to me, punched me in the chest, and said, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else."
That'd be you to Howard from Halifax. Punch him in the chest.
Said, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else." I mean, I don't see the resemblance between me and Howard, but.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, we're both bald and brown. Right, moving swiftly on before I get myself cancelled.
I think you'll be fine.
All right.
You might get Howard cancelled.
Howard cancelled, yes. Paul Labille.
Yeah.
We're here again, Joseph. We've somehow managed to get ourselves in a situation where we're having a conversation about whether Paul Labille Pogba is going to stay at the club and sign a new contract. We thought we weren't going to have these shenanigans again, and I'm not blaming him, but, you know, it's still not certain what is going to happen. So, what do you reckon?
Well, the rumour was the other day, wasn't it, 500 grand or 510 grand or something that PSG were willing to pay him. This is seemingly our counter offer, or maybe not a counter offer, maybe just a sort of, you know, parallel offers that aren't really taking each other into account. To me, right, here's a couple of things. Being the highest paid player doesn't just mean you're the best player. It means you're the best combination of ability on the pitch and marketability off the pitch.
Yeah.
That's what equals highest paid player.
Yeah.
Sometimes that goes hand in hand, like Cristiano Ronaldo. Sometimes that doesn't go hand in hand. For instance, David De Gea, never really the most marketable off the pitch, but at the time he signed his last contract, or you know, over the last 5 or 10 years, has been by far our best player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Our only truly world-class player throughout the most difficult time of the last 25 years. But Paul Pogba is a sort of intriguing combination of both, where he's probably on his day, let's just not say on his day, on average, top 3 or 4 performers for United, probably just behind Bruno, maybe on a similar level to Rashford and Maguire, probably just behind that. He's in the cluster behind Bruno in terms of on the field, but then off the field is our most marketable person alongside Rashford. So to me, it makes sense that he would be one of our most highest paid players, if not the most, because whilst he may not be the best player in the team, he's right up there, and again, he's the biggest face by a mile.
Yeah.
He's the most famous player we've got, he's the biggest name we've got, and that's what these things do, because it's not just about, how well does he perform on the pitch, it's how can United attract sponsors, what can we do in terms of brands and this sort of thing that will bring them club money. We don't mind spending some of that on Paul Pogba because he helps us in other areas. But 400 grand a week is a hell of a lot of money, especially when you consider that De Gea, I think, is the number one paid player by quite a margin as well. I don't think it's like De Gea 375 and then Rashford 350. It's like De Gea 375 and then everyone else is in the 200s, I think. Because De Gea got his deal during the Sanchez kind of turmoil, where he was on between 350 to 450 depending on bonuses. So 400 is a lot of money for a player that, like we said, I don't think anyone would say is our best player. That seems a lot of money to me. But then you look around Europe at the moment, you look at what Barcelona are playing certain players and PSG and these sorts of things. 400 grand a week doesn't seem that crazy, but to me that's a hell of a lot of money. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not surprised. These sort of figures kind of make sense to me, even though they don't make sense, if that makes any sense. It's like you're edging now towards $500,000 a week.
Yeah.
It being the top end of what players are paid across like some of Europe's top clubs.
Yeah.
Paul Pogba's looking at that, probably think I'm going to go for a free.
Yeah.
They're not going to get any money for me, so it's not like, they're looking to sell me in the summer.
Yeah.
If they want to keep me, obviously it's not his decision what United pay him, but United are probably looking at it going, well, either goes for nothing or we keep him for a lot of money. Is he worth keeping for a lot of money? I still think with Paul Pogba, the thing is, I rate Paul Pogba and he is, one of our most talented players. But there's still a consistency issue there. And it's like, people don't want to have this conversation because you think he's very, very divisive, Paul Pogba, in terms of when you have a chat about him, it's like you either love Paul Pogba or you hate him. If you're sort of in the middle and you go, I love Paul Pogba and I think he's a great player, but I think he can do better and do it more consistently, people lose their mind, and other people think, oh, he's rubbish, get rid of him, or he's not, he's nowhere near good enough. And I think somewhere in between is accurate. I think that he hasn't had the right players around him enough, but now he has. Now you look at that team and you've got a player like Bruno Fernandes, who's in the same sort of ability bracket as Paul Pogba, which is the first time he's ever had someone in midfield alongside him of that ability. You look at players like Mason Greenwood, like Edinson Cavani, who, I know they're on different ends of the age spectrum, but are phenomenal strikers. You look at the defence he's got behind him, there's a real team there.
Yeah, there is.
And I don't feel like you can just say, well, Paul Pogba needs better players around him to get
I don't think that can't be an argument.
No, he can't anymore. You might have been able to get away with that a few years ago, I get it. But now there isn't that excuse. He has to perform. He started off really well, and I want to see that level of consistency, because you say on his day.
Yeah.
And you're right on his day, but the difference between the great players and the good players is the great players. Roy Keane And Paul Pogba, in terms of ability, you could argue that Paul Pogba is more naturally gifted than Roy Keane.
Yeah.
But Roy Keane was a much better player for Manchester United because he did it every single game.
Yeah.
Every single game he gave you an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, sometimes a 10 out of 10 in the Stade d'Alpine, for example. Whereas Paul Pogba, you know, he does have games where he doesn't perform. He does get injured a lot. He's missed a lot of football over the last couple of years. You know, not necessarily his fault for getting injured, but he has. So that's what you need to see. You need to see him do it consistently because he's got the ability to do it. He has. Maybe he's not always been happy. Maybe he's not always had a system. Maybe he's not always had the players around him. But from what we gather, he is happy with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Those two have a really strong relationship. He is happy with his teammates. His teammates always get on with him, but he's happy with the team he's got around him. We know there's a real talent there around him as well. You look at the likes of Raphael Varane, Harry Maguire behind him. You've got, you know, like I said, Cavani and Mason and Rashford in front of you, Bruno alongside you. That's a strong team. There's no excuses there for me in terms of performance. A player with the ability of Paul Pogba in a team like that, with a manager who's getting the best out of him, we should be seeing 8 out of 10s every week.
Yeah.
Not 4 assists every game, by the way, like Graham Souness said, because that's just stupid.
Yeah. I think at some point, and he's 28 now, if it doesn't happen this season, I think at some point we will just have to admit that Paul Pogba isn't a consistent top class player. I think he's a very good player. And again, like you said, let's not sort of push it too far the other way. He's a good player almost every game. He's a very good player quite often, and he's a world-class player occasionally. Maybe half a dozen games a season where you go, he ran that. Like, you know, look the other day, for instance. But if this season he doesn't go from being a good player every game to being a very good player every game with the occasional, you know, excellent world-class performance, he needs to take it up a notch this season. Because if he doesn't, like I said, at some point you just go, well, Paul Pogba is a good player, but he just isn't consistent, and that's just what he is. Again, I think it's maybe he's 28 now, that's what I'm saying. At some point you have to go from that to being that, because otherwise your career passes you by and you just never were consistent. Look at Nani, for instance, had world-class games on his day, unplayable, skillful, incredible, can do things that most players could never do, but he just never was consistent, and that was what his career was defined by. And at some point that's going to hit Paul Pogba as well, but I don't think we're quite there yet. No,
and he's not lucky, but you know, we're in a fortunate position that if Pogba and Bruno can dovetail, then that can work. If you have a game where Paul Pogba's not quite at his passing isn't quite picking up, but Bruno is, that's all right, and vice versa. It happened a little bit last season. Bruno had a couple of quiet games, Burnley and Fulham, Pogba steps up. Problem was then Pogba got injured. Bruno comes back to his form, but by that time, you know, we've missed a few games or whatever. So we need them to work together and also dovetail nicely when one's not quite at it.
Yes or no, would you pay Paul Pogba 400 grand a week to see him sign another, let's say, 4-year deal with an optional 5th year?
I would, yeah. If he wanted to stay, then I'd keep him. And I know it's pretty, you know, there's an argument, well, he's making nice paid players, he's done enough, But also, I'd like to think that, as you just said, Paul Pogba signing this deal will want to win the Champions League, will want to win the Premier League. I know obviously every player wants to do that, but we'll look at it going, this has got to happen in my career, and I'm doing it here. Do you know what I mean? Because Paul Pogba was never a big United fan. We got him from Le Havre. He went to Juventus, and then he came back for 89 million quid. Now, it's not like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think we were a bit deluded to think that, there was all these stories of he's come back to his boyhood club. And he came back because we paid the money for him. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, can we convince him to stay to win trophies, is what I'm getting at. I think we can. If he stays, he'll want to win trophies. He won't just want to be a World Cup winner who never won the Champions League or never won a domestic title in England, despite playing here for 7 years or whatever it'll be.
Because at some point, and I'm not saying this, but at some point people will start to say, well, you know, you can win a World Cup by being in a great team and, you know, getting a decent draw or being, what is it, a World Cup, 8 games?
Yeah.
Like, fair enough, it's an incredible achievement and what a thing to have as a foundation to your CV. But like you said, well, he played in England for 8 years, for the richest club in England, or, you know, historically, and he never won anything.
If you're in that French team with N'Golo Kante, who's won a Champions League, titles with different clubs in England,
including Leicester, by the way,
you're going to be a bit like, do you know what I mean? Like, I should be doing this sort of thing. And I think that if you're 28, you've still got that thing in the back of your head, okay, I can move on and win a title with going back to Juve or going to PSG. Where if you sign another deal at United and you're only going to leave in your 30s, then you're thinking, this is my one chance.
This is it.
And hopefully we've got the team to do it. I'm going to get into some super chats. Sheikh Sabuhuddin, thank you for your support, by the way. I noticed a few super chats from you. It says, Pacos de Ferreira, that's a new word I learned today. Thank you, Spurs. Harry Kane will want to go now. Will want to go definitely now. for fuck's sake. So I think he's a bit upset at the fact that it looks like Harry Kane is going out the door at Spurs. And, you know, where he's going to end up. He's going to end up at them lot down the road, isn't he? Manchester City. Danny Shields says, getting Howard cancelled is how we got Eric. Yes. Shall we move on then from Paul Labille Pogba? Because I know loads of people talking about him, and you know, Francie Brady just pops up with super chat. Paul Pogba doesn't deserve to be the highest paid player. I
can see the argument.
I get that, but we have to sometimes just face the reality. You know, if you want to keep him, you've got to do that. Do you want to keep him? Yeah. Do we trust if he goes that we're going to replace him when we're not getting any money for him if he goes in the summer? Are we going to go out and spend 70, 80, 90 million on another Paul Pogba?
That's a good point.
Probably not. Lewandowski.
Yes. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about him.
Let's talk about Robert.
£100 million Lewandowski wants a new challenge. Now, he's not going to... He's valued at 100 million. Turns 33 this week. Reports claim that Bayern Munich striker is open to join another top European club.
This is Sky saying this,
This is
it?
Sky.
Yes.
I mean, there's a small slice, in fact, a big dollop of scepticism as to whether Robert Lewandowski can end up at United. But who knows? I mean, there is talk of him staying at Bayern for the rest of this season. Maybe next season he moves on. Maybe then you're looking at are United going to do what we did with Cavani? Is it one of those where you're bringing in a striker coming towards the end of his career? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, again, and this is obviously looking forward, but this would be probably next summer, you would have thought.
Yeah, I don't see him. He's not going to come in this window to Manchester United. That just ain't happening.
And also, you talk about valued at 100 million. By the time he'd played one game for Manchester United, he'd be 34. So that's what you're buying. You've got a season of a 34-year-old playing for you. No one is paying 100 million quid for a 34-year-old. I don't care how many goals he scored for Bayern Munich. He's not worth that unless he's got a 10-year contract. But even then, and even any contract at 34 years old is a 2-year contract. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be playing till he's 40. Certainly not at the highest level, or history would tell us he isn't. I know Cristiano Ronaldo is trying to change that trend at the minute, but if he wants to me, what this seems like is PR. This seems like PR because I think he knows, or he thinks, Dortmund are going to be taken, have Haaland taken from them and going and taking him to Bayern Munich. And I think he's going, you know what, I'm probably being replaced next summer, or Bayern Munich are going to try and replace me. I'll just sow the seed that I wanted to leave anyway, shall I? Because I don't really want to...
Did you see, right, two things there. Did you see Haaland go to Bayern Munich?
I see Bayern Munich wanting him.
Yeah, and you think that... I don't know if Haaland wants to stay in Germany.
I don't know whether he does either, but I think that Bayern Munich would be stupid not to want to get him. They can afford to get him. They do this all the time. They took Lewandowski from Dortmund. They took Hummels. They took Götze. They took, countless other players over the last few years from Dortmund. I think if they want him, they'll think they can get him, whether he wants to stay or not.
Can I tell you something?
Go on.
I think we'll get Haaland.
I know you do.
I do. And you know I'm not Mr. I said last year we weren't going to get Sancho last summer when everyone was saying we would. Yeah. I said we'll get him this summer, but not last summer. But I can see Haaland coming to United.
Why?
I just feel like there's little reasons that if you add them all up together, make me think we can make that deal happen.
Driver's seat.
Yeah. One, he's got a relationship with Ollie that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Two, I know it's not a big thing, but Sancho's here, them two are mates.
Yeah.
That's another one.
It's
someone. Sancho as well can... Because Dortmund did this with him when he was at Mulder. They had people messaging him from Dortmund saying, can't wait to come and join us.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, there's reports, I think it was in the Athletic, that they invited him into the WhatsApp group, and they did little things like that to make him feel welcome. Yeah. And it sounds daft, but if you're going to a new job, in all walks, any walk of life, and your new colleagues are like, or your potential new colleagues are like, mate, can't wait to start here, it's going to be mint, you're going to feel welcome. They just did those little things.
Can I tell you a time when that backfired?
Go on.
My cousin was buying a house recently. Yeah. Buying his first house, and he went to this house. Oh, this is a lovely house. This, we think we'll go for it. All that. Before they'd even put the offer in, the woman who owned the house wrote a Facebook status saying, "House is sold. So happy. Can't wait for the new people to move in. Nothing signed. Nothing done." And then they ended up buying somewhere else. No. So she went full, invite him into the WhatsApp group, and then they ended up buying somewhere else.
Oh no! But we don't want to do that.
No.
I wouldn't go. We've got him. Yes, done deal. Here we go. And then Alan's like, hang on a minute. I've not agreed to go there.
I
fact,
can't delete the tweet now.
Yeah, well, we've already posted it.
We've
said that
so you got about the house.
Yeah,
He felt so bad as well, but
well, you're not going to move in somewhere you
just
don't want
someone's put a
just to
Facebook
be
post.
polite.
Yeah, well, that's what
Do
she
you
was
know what I
going
mean?
for.
We don't want to live here though. Just shut up. Just move the kids in.
Someone says you guys are deluded Ole-in merchants. I don't even know what that means.
Who said that?
FBI. Oh, fuck.
FBI. Oh, wait, they're on
shit!
to us. Listen.
It's the Bureau. It's the Bureau. You guys are deluded in Ole merchants.
Can I just say
the Bureau afterwards? Look at him. He's spamming.
Can I just say the FBI?
Yeah.
That family was in my loft when we got in the house.
Right. Like the one in the basement.
Yeah. Oh, ditto. They were living there before we moved in. That's all I'm going to say.
Jesus Christ, they're onto us.
Do you know what? Like,
Brexit football.
You guys
What does that
are
even mean?
deluded Ole-in merchants. If you think like the whole Ole-in thing is a bit misleading, isn't it? Because what does that mean? Do we support the manager? Yes. Do I believe in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I actually do.
But if he lost 50 games in a row
Yeah.
and did a shit on the pitch, I'm not going to say keep him.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Do you know what I mean?
we like him because he's doing well and because he gets a bit of extra emotional
and
support
as a
because he's a
United
legend.
Fan, I enjoy the football and what's happening under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
Probably more than I've enjoyed it for a long time.
Certainly
since
the best since Fergie.
Yeah, and, I know he's not won trophies, but week in, week out,
Yeah.
I'm watching more entertaining football.
Of course.
And I feel
that's
more
statistically proven.
Just
That's
feel
not just a
happier
feeling.
being a United fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all those sort of arguments are a bit
Jesus
sort of
Christ.
meaningless. David in the
scared.
super chat says, Barca fire sale, pick up De Jong and Pedri half price.
Pedri played 73 games last season and he's like, what is he, 19? What is that?
Here you go. Danny Shields is talking sense.
Go on.
Haaland next summer, Bellingham the year after.
Yeah.
Ole is building a system and a squad that only needs 1 or 2 additions a season from Dortmund.
Yeah.
Okay? Just keep buying Dortmund players.
Yeah.
Just keep doing
Simple.
that. Do you know what I mean? They can become half. Forget Bayern. Give him to us. We'll look after him. I'd have Bellingham as well in a couple of years.
What about this? Hear me out.
Go on.
What do you mean hear me out? You're going to hear me out.
Yeah.
Here's your front 6.
Yeah.
Bellingham.
Yeah.
Pogba.
Yeah.
Bruno.
Yeah.
Rashford.
Yeah.
Haaland. Sancho.
Get out. Where's Mason Greenwood in that?
Oh shit! Yeah, where's Mason Greenwood?
Yeah.
In
Well, you didn't name him, did you?
that? On the left.
Yeah.
Is in midfield. Is it left back?
He could probably score 50 goals a season from left back in a couple of years. He's that good.
Yeah.
Right. Potentially, United could have the best team anyone's ever seen in a few years.
Yes, other than the PSG one. Other than that one. They've got shit fullbacks anyway.
Mason Greenwood could be
Yeah.
as good as we all think he could be.
Yeah.
Yeah? Don't forget that.
No.
If Jadon Sancho is going to do bits.
Yeah.
If we got Haaland, that's ridiculous. And then Rashford as well.
I think there's a chance, you know. I think there's a chance. If Greenwood keeps progressing, even on the right-hand side, I think there's a chance that Rashford is the one that has to prove himself in that front line.
I think,
Depending on how he comes
in
back from
pure footballing terms,
Yeah.
there's more question marks by a lot of people on Marcus than there is on Mason.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm not joining that conversation. I love Marcus Rashford. I think he's an amazingly talented footballer.
Me too.
But more people question Marcus's consistency, and especially over the last few months, forgetting, ignoring the fact that he's been injured and he's been carrying that. But then they do Mason. Mason, it's like great talent, up and coming. I know he had a little bit of a barren spell earlier this season, but he's going to kick on.
He's also 4 years younger than Marcus.
And whereas Marcus has got a few doubters,
Yeah.
but I'm not one of them. I think
Me
Marcus
neither.
Rashford is a phenomenally talented footballer
He is.
who will, alongside Mason Greenwood, in my opinion, be challenging for those all-time scoring honours.
Yeah.
I think there could be a situation where you're looking at it in 10 years' time going,
Both of them over
both
200
of-
goals
yeah.
for United.
Both of them sort of, like you say, challenging for that.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yes, we shall.
So, but Lewandowski to United right now, not happening. But
Yeah.
just interesting to see the sort of geopolitics of footballing strikers, because we've had the whole, Lukaku. Have you ever had it? Do you know that game that you can play where
Chess.
you've got like a little car park and it's full of cars?
Chess in the car park?
No, not. I'll explain it and then you listen to it.
Right, okay.
So you have a little a board and there's loads of cars in
A
it.
chessboard. Sorry,
Just-
you explain.
And there's a little exit, and you have to, and your car's parked here, and you have to move all the other cars out of the way to get the car out of the car park. Do you know what I mean? But nothing to do with chess. It's just cars, and you slide them up and down, and then you go, oh, there's a gap, and I slide the car out, and then you win.
Right.
You've seen this sort of game, yes?
Yes, I
Thank
have.
you. Right, you really seem to be struggling not to say the word chess.
At the end of the game,
Yeah.
do you have to take the king?
That's chess.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, but this almost feels like Lukaku's slid to Chelsea, so they don't need someone.
Yep.
Kane's going to City, so they don't need someone.
Yep.
Messi's gone to Barca, so they don't need someone. Mbappe's going to Real Madrid, so they don't need someone. And then the gap has opened for us to slide Haaland out and take him straight to Old Trafford. Like every big club doesn't need one, but this is the problem. Bayern might need someone, and if they do, they're going to be going balls to the wall. I've heard people say that online.
Okay.
For Haaland.
But there's two things to that.
Chess, man. You're good at chess.
Mate, I used to be a grandmaster.
You used to be?
Yeah. Gave it up though.
Right, what for?
Failed a drug test.
Yeah, okay, go on then.
Apparently steroids aren't allowed in chess, you know.
It was a horse that was on steroids though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like the Grand National.
Yeah, I think you're right. But again though, I know Dortmund have always sold to Bayern Munich, but there is a bit of needle there. There is a bit of like, Dortmund have been, Bayern Munich have been very disparaging towards Dortmund over the last couple of years, especially. Also, does Haaland want to spend more time in Germany? Does he want to go to Bayern Munich and upset all the Dortmund fans? Yes, I know it's happened in the past, but like I say, there is more animosity probably between those two clubs than there has been previously. And, you know, is that a challenge for him? Go at Bayern Munich and just winning everything in Germany with Bayern Munich at that age where he could come to England and he could still go back to Germany if he wanted to.
That's
he could
true.
Still, do you know
How
what
old
I
is
mean?
he going to be? 21, 22 at the end of the season?
He could come to United for 5 years and then go back to Germany or go to Spain or go to Italy. And also you might, with all those sort of different facets you were talking about, Spain being sort of
because at the moment,
out of the game almost in the biggest ever signings. Of the, you know, I know that Real Madrid have still got the capability to buy players and Barcelona are just in a right mess. But we're not in the sort of situation where Real Madrid, you'd expect them to go out and spend 110, 20, 30 million.
Well, it'd be 70 million next
year.
Sorry,
70 million.
But I saw something in the week that depending on clauses in the contract, depending on how Haaland does this year, that could go up to 90 apparently. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but just depending on this season.
Do you feel like, though, United could get away with just Haaland next summer? Or would we have to get a midfielder as well?
I think we'd have to get both. But again, if you're getting Haaland for, let's say it's 72 million.
So you could do like we've done this season with Sancho and Varane. You could go out and get Haaland for 75 million or whatever, and then spend another 50, 60 million. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you go in for, someone like those players. So it kind of makes sense as well. So this is why I'm a pretty optimistic bunny about Haaland, more so than I am about other players in the past, because I can just see the stars lining up in our favour. One player who, if his price stays the same, won't be coming to Old Trafford is Kieran Trippier.
The
Tripster. I mean, Atletico will sell Trippier if 60 million buyout clause is met. All right, then, I'll play for United if I massively improve at playing my ability to play football.
Yeah, and you lose 10 years.
Yeah, well, probably 20 years. Yeah. It's not going to happen, is it, for 60 million euros?
No.
Like, we're not going to do that.
We spoke about this. We don't really, I don't think, need to go into the need for him. Is he right? Is he not? The story is they will sell him for 60 million euros. We will not buy him for 60 million euros. That is not going to happen. We spoke before, I can't remember which journalist it was now, it might have been Sam Pilger, who was saying, if this is going to happen, it'll be the end of the window when Atletico have gone, all right, have him for 18 million or whatever. United will not pay 60 million euros for Kieran Trippier. I would be absolutely stunned if they did. There's just no chance.
If we do, that's just fucking stupid.
That is stupid. Because that's Paul Pogba's wages for the next 2 years at 400 grand a week. If we spend
that's why didn't you go and get someone like Sol Niguez or someone like that who like immediately improves the starting 11?
We don't need a new right back. Yeah. This is a backup right back or an alternative right back. Yeah. We could do with a brand new defensive midfielder. We're not going to do that.
Even in a year's time, if Ethan Laird has a stormer on loan this season, then he's going to want to come back and challenge. So you might only be paying 60 million euros for someone who's got maybe 1-2 years tops as a backup.
No chances.
No, I don't see that. In the super chat, Kwame 10 says, Rashford is sound. What happens to Martial? Good question. Martial's got a lot to prove.
That's what I was going to say. Martial's got to prove himself. I like Martial, and he was a symbol of hope during a really difficult time and a particularly sort of turgid and boring time to watch Man United. He was a point of flair that really stood out in that team when everyone else was stood in the place, do the Van Gaal pass, stood in the place, do the Van Gaal pass. No one moved, no one tried anything. He still would. But at some point, you're here because you're good enough to be here, not just because you scored a few goals a few years ago. He needs to improve next season. We all know that. He can't have another 6-goal season or whatever it was.
No.
That won't wash.
No, he does, and obviously, he's probably down the pecking order now.
Yeah.
So he's got to fight for his place.
Yeah.
Still like Anthony Martial, still think he's got a future at Manchester United, but his future needs to start kicking in right now.
Yeah.
Our man, Maruf Fukani, says, guys, you're just happy when your club improves, merchants. Disgusting.
I know.
PSJ, love it when you butcher my last name. I hope I did it. I did a better job of it
quite
than I normally
sexy,
do.
that, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Love it when you butcher my last name.
Butcher my name, you bold. Bar steward.
Lovely. Right, what's next?
Jesse, this angers me.
Yeah, me too. It was 15 million euros for Pereira.
Right, why is Jesse Lingard, right, someone who's got 9 goals and 5 assists in 16 games in the Premier League last season, a player that's played for England in a World Cup semi-final, a player that's won FA Cup final and a League Cup final, a player that's been a bit of a stalwart in the Premier League for the last 5 years. All right, he had a season where he wasn't great. Is he going for 20 million quid when he's still in his 20s?
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
I don't even think I need to say any more than what you've just said.
This is just like, oh, what do you want Chicharito for 7 million or 10 million, whatever it was? Oh, yeah. Well, you want Johnny Evans for 6 million? Yeah, have him. Why don't we just give away experienced, talented players who are going to go to another club and do well?
Yeah.
He will do well at West Ham.
Do you know what,
if he goes there?
What we behave like in the transfer window? We behave like a rich club.
Yeah.
And I know that we are a rich club, but like, let's say Tottenham, who are a rich club, they don't behave like a rich club, where they just buy people for whatever you want and sell them for whatever they want. Like, it's like, oh, we've got so, like, do you know when you go out with someone and they're like, oh, you're having a beer with someone and they earn a bit more than you, and there's half the beer left, and they go, oh, come on, should we go? You're not going to drink your beer? It's fucking £2.50 you're leaving there. Like, that's my thought, but some people say, oh, it's only half a beer, don't matter about it.
Yeah.
That's what United are like. Oh, it's only a Jesse Lingard. It's only 5 million quid. Don't worry about it. We wanted 25, but we'll take 20. Like, that's a lot of money, especially when we're not being able to sign another player that we want because we don't quite have enough money this year. Just what do you want? Yeah, 15 million, 20 million, take him. That's just stupid. Just we act like we're dead rich, and I know we've got money, but that we could do with signing some more players here, and if we get the right extra few million out of 3 or 4 different transfers, that's another 20 million that you've got to play with, and all of a sudden then you can go and get Ruben Neves or Sal Niguez or whoever it may be. Doing it like this, you just lose 3, 4, 5 million on every player. It's stupid.
It is, and it's just, like you're saying, when you look at it, when you look at the fact we need this money to come in and the facts of all the other things you consider, it just doesn't make any sense. And I just think that my only sort of one slight caveat to all this is Jesse has been a good player for Manchester United, a good servant for Manchester United, and if it is a case of no one's coming in for him and he's going to be stuck on our bench, or if we don't lower it, if we lower it, sorry, he can go and get the move that he probably wants. Then okay, maybe he deserves that. But I don't know, man. It does frustrate me a little bit, our transfer policy. What's that? Oh yeah, love the channel. Says love the channel. Unsubbed out here. Thanks, Jay. Says David.
Nice one, David.
Nice one, David.
See you later, mate.
Nice
one, Jay.
Someone says to our toilet even says keep Jesse and Martial. Let Martial leave next season if he doesn't perform this one.
By the way,
instead. Yeah, go on.
Just as a note to everyone. 600,000 subscribers. If you all want to send us £2 and unsubscribe, we're more than happy with that. We are absolutely more. You're allowed to unsubscribe. In fact, we encourage it, but you have to send us £2. I'll walk into the sunset with 1.2 million. Don't you worry about that. Thank you very much. But really, do subscribe. We're very close to 600,000. Are we there yet? We've got to be nearly there.
Hang on a minute.
Let me find out. You read out the next one. I'll find out.
You check where we are in terms of subscribers, man. Have we reached the magical 600,000 target that we've been waiting? James Marian in the super chat says if City get Kane, we need Lewandowski to challenge. I can see that argument. Adam McCullough in the chat says new t-shirt. I see, Joe. Yep, it is, and those t-shirts are available from our merchandise. Go and check out the link and give us a like as well. Give us a like.
Close. 1,000 off.
1,000 off.
Come on.
Come on, people. Get
Come on.
subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. We'll put a link in the chat, actually, for subscribing. Get us to 600k.
Yeah.
We can do this. We can do this tonight. Yeah? We're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to make history.
What's next?
Let's have a look. What's next on the agenda? We spoke about Trippier. We spoke about Pogba. We spoke about Lingard. Should we talk about Tahith Chong?
I don't know this story. What's going on?
He's doing well.
Good lad.
Birmingham fans, you can see there from the graphic, says claim that he's the real deal and is quickly becoming a fan's favourite with his standout performances. Now, Tahith Chong, he's had a bit of a erratic start to his professional career. He was sort of lauded, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As the next big thing. Lots of people were raving about him, and when we had Jose's manager, Jose doesn't really rave about any youngsters, but he was the one that a lot of people were looking at. I know we had Angel Gomez, I know we had Mason Green, but Mason Green was probably sort of the one that everyone was like, that kid's going to score those goals. But Chong was the talented one, the raw talent, when everyone's going, that lad Tahith Chong is going to be one of the best in the world almost. Didn't really happen for him when he got given his first team chances. He got a few cameos. I remember being at Old Trafford a couple of times when he came on and was a bit underwhelmed. I know he was only a kid.
One at the back post where he missed.
Yeah, there was just a couple of games where it was like,
yeah,
you're like, okay, he's not really taking these chances. I know it's not easy when you're a kid and you're coming on for what is 5 minutes in the Europa or whatever, or the Champions League. It's not the best way of bringing in these good youngsters, but you still have to show what you can do, and he didn't really do that, so he went out on loan. He went to Werder Bremen, started off really well, had a great pre-season with them, I think, last summer, and then that sort of fizzled out, went to Club Bruges, again did okay there. I don't think it was like he set the world alight. Came back, and a lot of people were actually thinking, Ollie's going to get rid of him. Ollie's going to say, this ain't happening. I think it's Dave Pritt actually called it quite well, because last year everyone was like, Angel Gomez has got a future at club, Tahith Chong hasn't. And Dave said, no, you've got it the wrong way around. Angel Gomez is going to leave. He wants to leave if he's not going to get the chances, which he wasn't. And Tahith Chong will stay and fight, and he's done that. And he's gone to Birmingham. And, the Birmingham fans are raving about him, saying he's the real deal. Obviously only played a couple of games, but he's done well. And the Championship is a division where you can't go hiding. No. You get found out there. Do you know what I mean? It's tough, innit? It's a tough division, especially for a 21-year-old as well. If he can do well there, any young player at United, I've said in the past, I don't know if Chong's got what it takes to make it Manchester United. I'd love him to prove me wrong.
Yeah,
I
me
would
too.
love it if he came back. Love it if we beat them. Just love it.
Yeah.
Love it if he comes back and he absolutely smashes it. Of course I would, but I would not want that to happen. And if he does well at Birmingham, then there's always a chance, isn't there?
Yeah, and also United always tend to be top, or alongside Barca and Ajax usually, of players or professional footballers that came through these academies. United is always one of the top. Even if it's not at United, he will, hopefully have a long professional career. Like you said, he's never quite proven for the first team that, you would expect that to be at Man United, but he's getting a good chance at Birmingham again and go prove himself, see what you've got.
He won, I think he won the Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year, then the Denzel Haroon, not Denzel Haroon, what's it called? Sorry, I always get it mixed up. He won the Reserve Player of the Year award as well. So he's obviously done well in the academy and done well for the under-23s. I don't think he played a lot of games in the under-23s, but he still won that award.
Yeah, like 12 games or something.
Yeah, it was something silly, wasn't it? And then obviously he's had these loan moves which have, been a bit erratic. But like you said, he does well there. Who knows what the future holds for him?
Yeah,
and it's
good
to see as well for him, because he's had a little bit of, some of the grief he was getting was a little bit OTT when it's like, he's crap, or he's never going to make it and stuff like that. I don't think that was a certain sentiment I had. I just didn't know if he had what it took to make it at Manchester United. But he's at that age as well. He's 21. This is it now. This is the season where you have to show a bit more, because you're not a kid. He's still young. Yeah. But you're not like a teenager or whatever. You've got to show a little bit. And hopefully you can do that. So with someone with a bright future, possibly at Manchester United, to someone who's...
with a dark past.
The
opposite.
Yeah. Ander Herrera.
Dark past.
I mean, we all love, ole ole Ander Herrera.
Yeah.
PSG want to sell players before the window shuts. Herrera, who obviously left United because he got a better deal at PSG in terms of his wages, is one of the players that is on a list that could be heading to the exit door, should we say? Would you have him back at United?
No.
I wouldn't. I loved Ander Herrera when he was at the club. I did, not just because he was football, I thought he was a very good player, but he was a shithouse, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's great.
He was great, and you love a bit of that.
And that gif of him following Hazard's exact footsteps against Chelsea when his man marking him, one of my favourite gifs.
My favourite.
One of my favourite games.
The semi-final against Everton.
Yeah.
Martial, I think it was after Martial's like late goal.
Yeah.
He was the lad that was breaking from midfield. Oh, he went to Villa. He went to Chelsea, he went to Villa. I can't remember. Ross Barkley.
Yeah.
I had a memory blank then. Ross Barkley running through, down the middle of midfield. Ander Herrera runs after him, just grabs the back of his shirt and just yanks him back. Yeah. As he's yanking him, Ross Barkley sort of kicks out a little bit, gets booked as well as Ander Herrera, so they both get yellow. Ross Barkley almost explodes with rage because he was away, and this is just a blatant foul. This is like your man in the World Cup. Yeah, exactly. It's just, you know.
Oh, who's that on?
It was on Saka, wasn't it?
Saka,
just yanked him back, and that's what, you know, sometimes you've got to do that shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, things like that, you know, there was a time when he spat on the City crest of the Etihad, little things like that, and, you know, his penchants for the dramatics when he fell over and stuff like arguing with the ref. You can buy into all that sort of stuff, but he went away a couple of seasons ago, and I don't think that he's better than he was when he left. I think United are a lot better than when he left.
Yeah, and I think he's not really the player we need. He's another number 8. He's industrious, he gets, you know, he's good box to box, he picks up more goals than Fred, but he's not as energetic as Fred, he's not as defensively minded as Fred. I'm saying that he's not as good as Fred, because when they were in the same team together, or they were in the same team together, weren't they, for a year, he was picked ahead of him, but I don't think our midfield works at the moment.
It's 32 as well, man.
And it's 32. Yeah, I just don't think our midfield works with him in it anymore. What are you going to do? Fred and Herrera could work, but then you've got to find something for Pogba when Rashford's back. You know, I think he'd get plenty of games for United, but if we're going to be spending what would probably be, again, sort of 20, 25 million, I wouldn't spend it on Ander Herrera again.
No, we've got quite a few super chats. Kimini WR says, can't wait for Tahith to become some lad's Welbeck. Yeah. Anthony Dunn says, just joined, is Joe okay? He's bobbing about like a boxer. Does he need a pee? Herrera to United is a step backwards.
No, I'm just on drugs. Heavily drugged up.
I wondered what you were doing.
Do you know what it is? Do you know why I'm doing that? Because I ain't got any shoes on and I'm rubbing my feet on the floor because it feels nice. Stop though.
See, he's noticed that and I didn't even notice.
Yeah. Like, do you know when a dog has a certain bit of carpet that it likes to lick? Yeah. Because it feels nice on its tongue? Yeah. I'm doing that with my feet.
Are you not wearing shoes because we had the conversation about the height difference?
It is actually to do with the height difference, yeah.
I appreciate that, bro.
You're welcome.
And I'll wear my heels tomorrow, so we'll level.
Even higher than those ones?
Yes. You can get them if you look for them.
Still find them.
Gaza7 UK, says, are we all going to chip in and pay for Aaron Wan-Bissaka's lawyer, maybe my cousin Vinny, Aaron Wan-Bissaka driving his Lamborghini, I think, while he's disqualified.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Yeah,
I think he can chip in for that.
Yeah,
what's he on, 100 grand a week?
I think he'll be all right with that one.
What's smart about that though is, obviously, if you're banned from driving, what you do is you drive a 600 brake horsepower supercar that looks like a fucking insect. That's what you drive, isn't it? I'd be in a Toyota Corolla if I was banned from driving, with a fake moustache, an extra moustache, and sunglasses on. Is he really driving a Lamborghini when he's banned?
Yeah.
Of all the cars.
Yeah.
Get a fucking 4KA.
170 grand Lamborghini, apparently, which was the headline, because obviously
they're not cheap. That's the thing. No one thought it was, what, is it 8 grand Lamborghini? No, they don't do those.
I know, sorry. I think we just had a bit of news. Yeah.
Go on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Someone was saying that before in the chat about the fact that Spurs have lost their game against Pacos de Ferreira.
Are they out now, or is that first leg?
I think that's first leg. In the Europa Conference, though.
They'll go through.
Bloody hell.
Someone said Wan-Bissaka was trying to catch him with a double bluff. Yeah, it's like, no point checking who's in that Lamborghini. They're obviously wealthy and therefore able to drive. He thought he'd do that with him. I wouldn't do that.
I think Raheem Sterling was driving off, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka just sticks with him.
Yeah,
that's his job.
All he said to him, cuts him off at the traffic light.
All he said, you stay with him.
Yeah.
You never leave his side.
He's like, join the derby. A really fast car.
Join the derby, and Wan-Bissaka just got that in his head for the rest of his life now. He's like, it's Raheem Sterling. Yeah. I'm better be marking him.
Slide past
him. Yeah. So if you care, we'll see what happens with it. He's probably just going to get another ban in here. I think from driving.
Normal people are sort of towards big fines, and I know people who are going to prison for a bit for that.
Well, let's not put ideas in.
Well, no, I'm not thinking
that.
Let's
not speak that into
well,
existence.
Normal people, like I said, but it's like, especially if I don't know if you're speeding or if, but you do.
I think he was driving while disqualified on it. I think,
yeah,
or something. It's not good. I mean,
no.
Just send him on a course. Hey.
That'll
Tell
do
you
it.
what, some of them awareness courses, I'd rather go to jail.
Yeah,
And Anthony Dunn says, I'm glad Joe's happy. Hotel carpet comes to mind. Matthew Cooks, thank you for your super chat. Just sent us a super chat as well. Someone else, Christopher Singh says, is the Manscaped code still valid?
Well, it depends which one you mean. There's quite a few, and I'm sure they're all still valid.
Yes, I'm sure they are.
Transfers Live, I believe it was.
Yeah, go and check that out as well. One thing that's not happening, final story.
Come on.
Tchouaméni.
Go on.
Manchester United are currently not working to sign Aurélien Tchouaméni from Monaco this summer. No talks or direct contacts as of now. Same for Corentin Tolisso. I've probably butchered both those names. But
No, Corentin Tolisso you've got pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't know the other guy.
Yeah.
Aurélien, I've heard of him obviously, but
I don't know who he is, but it's an outrage we haven't got him.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely fuming.
Yeah.
Hashtag Lisa's out as usual. Adam McCall super chat says I'd rather go to jail too. Those awareness courses are shit.
I did when I was at uni, I did a radio drama that was set in a speed awareness course.
I hope it was more entertaining than the actual speed awareness course, otherwise that would have been
Based on the
2 hours of
grades,
dead air.
Based on the grades, it was not. No, actually, did really well. That got first in that.
Did you?
Yeah. Thank you very much, radio drama. Second year. Thank you very much to the actors and actresses involved. I think I gave one of them food poisoning, so see you later. I shouldn't have picked those sandwiches out because I bought them from the shop about 6 hours earlier and they were already reduced. So who knows how much longer they had in them. I didn't eat the prawn mayo. She did. Sorry, carry on.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it's about. Gigi Salah
You can't
says...
get sent to prison for accidentally giving someone food poisoning, can you?
Depends. Well, are you saying accidentally?
No, well, yeah, but I don't know what their fingers are.
Like, was it, like I accidentally, tripped and punched him in the head 12
Sprinkled some
times.
dried feces into
like,
your lunch.
I accidentally, ploughed my forehead into his chin.
No, this was an accident. But it was an accident where I sort of thought this might happen. What's that count as? What's that, manslaughter? Do you know what I mean? Didn't mean it, but I could have stopped it.
You love jail anyway, aren't you? Playing Football Manager and all that, aren't you? You're into all that, aren't you?
Are you one of these people that say they have it better than us? Sky Digital, pool table. Oh, sometimes I'd rather be in there. Don't have to pay council tax. You're one of those people, aren't you? Jail should just be a cold metal slab and that they just throw, stones at you.
If jail's just a silent room, I'm all for that for a few weeks.
Yeah, just a few weeks.
Just a few weeks.
Yeah,
just,
PS2
there's your bed. I don't need the PS2 and all that. Just your bed. It's quiet.
Yeah.
You're left on your own for 23 hours a day.
Back of my eyelids, that's
all. Do you know
I
what I mean? Yeah, I mean, a bit of me time. Right. Yeah, Juju Salah says, challenge, which outfield player, like this,
go on,
appeared in the Champions League in 3 different decades?
Wait, what? Is that it?
Yeah, and then it says, and pick your best United team. You can't pick same nation more than once.
Which outfield player? Not for United, obviously.
I don't think so.
Because otherwise it...
Appeared in the Champions League in 3 different decades.
Oh, just in the Champions League? Or in the final?
Well, surely Giggs did that.
Yeah.
In the 90s, noughties and the 10s.
Yeah. There must be dozens that have done that.
Scholes. If it's United.
Beckham.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think maybe it means a final.
In the final in 3 different decades.
But if that's not the stat, then they may not
Giggs
be
would have done it. In 99, in 09 and 11.
See you later.
Like... I might be wrong there. I might be getting the question confused. Pick your best United team. You can't pick same nation more than once. The current United team. Danny Shields says, if we perform to the level... Thanks for that super chat as well, by the way. And people want to get involved in picking your best United team with all the different nations, please do. Danny Shields says, if we perform to the level this squad is capable of this year, 21 is not coming, it's cummed.
It's already cummed.
It's cummed. How are we going to win 21 this season? I don't know. We're having this conversation, aren't we?
Yeah,
Mac is on the channel tomorrow, so you bet your bottom dollar he's going to be talking about it.
My quick thought on this is, and I've said it before, even if we're brilliant this season, there are other brilliant teams in this league with brilliant managers that are going to be very difficult to beat no matter how good we are. Yeah. Because our squad and team and manager, if you add all those 3 things together, I think the squad... puts about 70 to 75% of your chances, and then your manager maybe 20 to 25. All of those things put together aren't necessarily better than City's of those things, manager, squad, and aren't much better or even any better than Chelsea's. No. And on their day, aren't much better or any better than Liverpool's, as we've seen over the last few years. So even if we're our best, if City are their best, we might just not be able to beat them. Do you know what I mean? We kind of have to hope other teams don't quite achieve their maximum this year, I think.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, there's so many different caveats to this, different things that we need to fall into place.
Yeah.
You know,
like look, when Leicester won it, every single big team had an off year.
Yeah.
If that happens, we'll win it easy. Do you know what I mean? If we have a 2016 all over again, we'll win the league.
I've just put in the chat a subscribe link. Get us to 600k subscribers. Yeah, we're on 599,000. Oh yeah, sorry. 331.
Yeah.
So come on.
Yeah.
I've pinned it as well. Eh? So it's in the chat.
Yeah.
Get involved. There you go. There's Adam McCullough. It's coming. Hashtag 21 is coming. To be fair to Macca, right? He's been saying this for a little while now.
Yeah.
I think he first said it when David Moyes was manager.
Yeah, at some point it becomes delusional rather than predictive, doesn't it? It's like he's not some sort of like forward thinking, he's seen the future. It's like, is he all right? Is he all right? He's been saying the same, just sat on the bus, rocking back and forth, saying the same catchphrase for 8 years.
He's lucky he wasn't born a lot. If he's a lot older,
yeah,
and it would have been like, we won a league in '67.
Yeah.
He'd be like, we're going to win it again next year.
Yeah.
We're going to win again next year. 25 years later, this is it. This is our year.
What would it be like? 8 is coming.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's every right to feel pretty confident though, because not that we're going to win it, but I just feel like we're almost there, mate.
Yeah.
We're almost,
I agree. I'm
almost there. No. I just feel maybe
good
a midfielder and a consistent goalkeeper away from being a title-winning team.
I think most football fans would say, we've got one of the top, I would say, 5 or 6 squads in Europe now. Whereas that hasn't been the case for the last 6 years, 7 years.
Back in the chat says, I said Moyes would win Champions League, not Premier League.
You were right then!
You know when we played Olympiacos?
Oh, sorry, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You were right.
When we played Olympiacos, right?
Yeah.
I remember we lost 2-0 away, and I went to that, and it was the worst performance by Manchester United I've ever seen away from home.
Yeah.
It was dreadful. Lost 2-0 to a bang average Olympiacos team.
Yeah.
It was just
awful. It wasn't one of those where you look back and
shocking.
go, hey, have you actually seen who was in that squad?
Yeah.
He had like loads of young world-class players.
No, they were terrible
shit.
and we were worse.
Yeah.
We came out to Old Trafford. Old Trafford was booming. Ryan Giggs in the middle. Midfield masterclass. We won 3-0. And I remember leaving there thinking, be on this. So I'm with him. I know what he's like.
Yeah.
It's like that season under Moyes where we beat Arsenal at home 1-0 just before the international break. And I thought, something's happening here.
Is anyone else feeling this? Is anyone else getting this? Because David Moyes, Premier League champion, it's just a feeling I'm getting. Don't call me crazy.
It was.
Yeah.
It was like...
Hey, walking down the stairs out the stairs like that. Hey.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's the sort of game that when you win a title, you look back on and you go, that was the turning point.
Is it just me or is something going on here?
And then we came out from the international break and took like 4 points from our next 10 games.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that, and David Moyes got sacked. But you do get it. Yeah. Like I said, I told you, I've got a feeling about this. I've had those feelings, but sooner or later, they are true. Listen, thanks for everyone who got involved. We're now up to 599,335 subscribers.
Yeah.
So
we're close.
We're close. We're almost there. It may happen tomorrow. If not, it may happen Saturday, or it will happen for the Southampton game.
Yeah.
Because that's when we've got the watch long, fan cams. We've got it all happening.
That's it.
It's got to happen then.
Yeah.
Macca's going to be here tomorrow. Knowing him, he'll come here tomorrow. He'll be on it, and it'll happen while he's on it. And he'll take all the glory and all that, won't he? And we've done all the hard work for him. We've got him to 599,335.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think most of them are because of me and you.
Certainly me.
Wow. Threw me under the bus quickly there, didn't you? Hey, there's a word for that. Right, we're going to move on.
It's not manslaughter again, is it? Might be.
We're now up to 599,337.
Right, we can do
I
this
need
all
to stop
day.
because I will just keep doing this, and it's
Rain
going
Man over
here.
here.
Yeah, it's going to get
Okay,
very.
How many subscribers have I thrown on the floor there? 599,337. See, his brain works differently. He's brilliant.
Counting cards. Charlie Babbitt. Let's go Vegas. Thanks to everyone that subscribed. Thanks to everyone that's commented.
If you want the merch, by the way, I've seen quite a few comments asking where it is. The link is in the description. Just literally scroll down, click it, and all the merch is there. This is my favourite. The sort of Thresher style take on it, but it's Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. It's Fernandes. Even if you're not into your skateboard, Bruno's on fire.
Is that what it is, that sort of skateboard
Don't
thing?
worry about it. Does it look cool?
Yeah, it does.
Right, don't worry about it. If you're cool, you know what it means. If you don't, it's still a good T-shirt.
Well, there's levels of coolness, mate.
There is, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all right. If you
Well,
that's
yeah,
okay.
I'm just sort of,
Right.
you know, a home freezer. You're a medical grade blast freezer, aren't you? That's how cool
Industrial
you are.
strength.
-40 in the blink of an eye.
Do you know what I mean?
You've got insulin like that, frozen,
Mate.
so that can last in sub-zero temperatures for months on end.
Freeze the flame on your lighter. That's how cold it is.
Jesus, it stays there, but it's just iced.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that happened to me once. Right, thanks for everyone. Yeah, thanks to everyone who got involved. Thanks to Joe Smith for being my co-host. What are you looking at?
Comments?
All right, anything interesting?
Well, what do you want me to say? No. If I say yes, I have to tell you what it is, even though there isn't. If I say no, I'm insulting our viewers. Anything interesting? Nah. Boring. Jesus Christ, what an absolute hospital
Yeah, here's a good one.
Go on then!
Brummy Reds. I'm sure the guy with the long hair used to work at Kerrang Radio.
I did.
Did you really?
No.
I've been in the same building as Kerrang Radio.
Oh, what a claim to fame! What a claim to fame. Right, wrap it up, Jay.
Kerrang Magazine, actually. I don't even know if it's the radio
for fuck's
thing.
sake,
Sorry.
so not even the
I'm
same
just
thing.
waffling again. Right, where can people find you?
Joe Smith 93 on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep, you know where to find me, Jay Motti, all over Insta, Twitter and all that stuff. Make sure if you're not doing, you're subscribing to the channel, sharing the video. Go and check out all the other good stuff we've got on. You did a really good video on Eric Ramsey. I love that, mate. Go and check that one out. Joe was going over our new set-piece coach, what he's bringing to the team, why he was so coveted as well, because he's got a bit of a sterling career on it for a young little nipper there, whippersnapper. So make sure you're checking that out. I've been Jay Motti, that's been Joe Smith. This has been Stretford Paddock Transfers Live. Thanks for watching.